Here we have the current stock market update for SOUNDHOUND AI Incorporated, stock ticker SOUN. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comment section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So what we're looking at here is the 1 hour time frame. Each candle on this price chart represents a 1 hour trading period. And there has been some fairly volatile price movement here recently over the last week or so. We have seen a lot of upside price movement, and then this was followed by a fairly sharp rejection at these near-term highs. And we will need to sort of readjust some of these price levels as well, because we have seen some breaks to the top side. So currently what we're looking at here would be a near-term price high, which actually comes in at 577. So this does break above the prior high that we were watching in the last video on this stock. And there has been a fairly significant amount of upward price movement here since then. More recently, as in the last day or so, we have seen some fairly major declines. And from the comments that I've been reading, it does suggest that, or it does sound like some people are starting to get a bit nervous here because it was really looking as though share prices were ready to start to make a sustained move higher. And then you get this sort of whipsaw price action here to the downside, which can be a bit alarming. So, we will just sort of define these levels here. So to the top side, we have $5.77. And then to the downside, we have a low coming in at $4.86. So, ultimately, there has been a fairly sharp bounce from this area. This was a bit of an old resistance zone, which could now be considered to be working as a support area. If we sort of look at this price movement here, we can see that there was some prior resistance that was encountered here. And then we did see that this area was ultimately that breakout point that did eventually lead to these price highs at $5.77. So, this is a significant level. This is not a totally mysterious level to be watching. And it's not completely surprising to see share prices sort of bounce from that area. What is a little bit surprising here is if we sort of move in here a bit, we can see that, in this movement lower, we did break below all four of the major exponential moving averages. And this is a movement on the hourly time frame. So what that means is that these are very important exponential moving averages. The daily chart and the hourly chart are arguably the most important moving averages. Because those are the most closely watched by the majority of the market. So, we did see share prices break through all four of those and even close below there, as we can see, on an hourly basis. So it is a bit surprising here that we did see that much price movement to the downside and then see a recovery. So I would say that would be a bit more of a surprise. Currently, what we're sort of having to assess here now is whether or not this is actually going to be the price bottom at 486. There are a few different ways of sort of making that assessment. So one thing that I would do here would be to take a very short-term Fibonacci retracement study and just try to see what exactly this upward price movement here did ultimately break to the top side. So, if we sort of drill in here a bit closer, we can see that this upward price movement here did start to encounter some resistance right into the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement of this price move here. And granted, this is a very short-term price movement here. It really isn't significant in terms of like a long-term position in share prices. But what we're really trying to accomplish here is trying to determine whether or not this most recent bounce is the real thing. Are we done declining here? Can share prices continue to move higher? So one thing that I would say that does point in this direction would be the fact that we have now broken through the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement zone when looking at this move from 577 to 486. So that is a bullish movement. Additionally, what we can see is that share prices did manage to break back above, I should say, the exponential moving average cluster. So essentially, we broke below it. I guess you would have to call this a bit of a false breakout here to the downside. And then now we're trading back above here again. So, these exponential moving averages are starting to constrict a bit, which does mean that it's much easier to break above and below these areas. So it's possible that we could start to see share prices just sort of oscillate around this moving average band, or we can start to find some support here and continue to make another run higher. So I would say at the moment, those are sort of the two scenarios right now. I do think that this movement above the 38.2% fib retracement is an important price movement. I think that this does suggest more than it doesn't suggest that this price movement to the top side is probably sustainable, and that we have probably found support here at 486. So quickly, just before I close out the video here, I will do some quick analysis of the relative strength index. There's a little bit of signal action here. I wouldn't say that this is hugely convincing, but there is still some downward momentum that has been in place for quite a while now. This goes all the way back to those 645 highs. So ultimately, that downtrend is still in place. If I was long this stock, what I would really want to see at this point, possibly more than anything else, might be a relative strength index movement through this downward trend line here. The reason that I say this is because if we did see share prices move above here and sort of break through this area, that would then suggest that all of this negative share price movement that has been in place since $6.45, that trend momentum would have then completed itself and would no longer be influencing the stock price. So, for me, that would be a highly significant event because all of this downside price action that has been generated by these declines would then be considered to be completed and would no longer be considered to be active in the market. So I do think that would be a critical price break if we were to see something like that. So, in order for that to occur, I think that we will need to see this 486 support zone continue to hold. The next level that I would be watching to the top side really does come in around 542. I think that if we can break above there, then we're probably looking at a further retracement of this entire trending move. As we can see, this is a bit of an old high, that area, and it's also the 61.8% retracement of this most recent bearish move lower. Here's the stock market update for SOUNDHOUND AI, stock ticker SOUN. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.